It's hard to decide which case to get for your iPhone 16 Pro Max because there's so many different cases on the market and you're looking for different features like which one is going to have the most powerful MagSafe magnet, which is going to have the best drop protection, which is going to be the lightest, which is going to be the thinnest. So let's show you all of these various cases from the Mous Super Thin, the Casemate Tough D30, the Casemate Bubble MagSafe case, the Torras O Stand case, the Zagg Crystal Palace Snap case, the Otterbox Symmetry case, and the Benks Lucent case. Let me just note that a lot of these cases are going to be around $50, with the exception of the Torras O stand and the Benks Lucent case. We also just wanted to show you what you can get with various budgets. So let's take a closer look. Let's see which one of these cases are going to look the best with your iPhone 16 Pro Max and which one you should be getting for yourself. This is the Mous Super Thin 2.0 case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max. At just 1.1 millimeter thick, it is going to be one of the thinnest cases that we're going to be reviewing here. And let's take it outside of the box because it's made out of durable materials, but it's really just a polycarbonate back as well as TPU sides. That's going to be pretty standard amongst all these cases. And it's also going to have raised edge protection above the camera lens. And for the screen, however, it's just going to be close to about 1 millimeter. Let's look at how well this attracts fingerprints as we take a closer look here. You can also see the camera bump is raised, but it's also made out of plastic. So it's not going to be the same color tone as the clear case, as well as the MagSafe magnet is also black. The Super Thin 2.0 will also have strategic cutouts that's going to allow you to utilize your iPhone 16 capture button. And it's in contrast to something like if you get the clear case from Apple, which comes with that sapphire crystal button. So it's not just a cutout, you actually have a button that you can touch on the case itself that's going to control the camera control button. And that's a big distinction here because of the design of this camera control button is going to determine how effective or how much you're going to use that button, honestly. So let's take a closer look at this case. Let's check out his MagSafe magnet as well, and let's put inside our iPhone 16 Pro Max. Snapping in your iPhone 16 Pro Max into the Mous Super Thin case is very easy. It's just going to snap in because it has those flexible sides. You can see from the camera bump, it's not that protected, and that's because it's just not tall enough and the case is so thin. If you look at the sides as well as the buttons, you notice that the buttons are fully exposed. There's no button cutouts. There's no buttons there that are going to really let you control it. And if you're trying to figure out, is the camera control button going to work? Yes, it does work. It's pretty easy to use. However, because of the location and how they have the cutout set up, it will scrape your fingers a little. It's not the most comfortable, but it does make it usable overall. And that's because the bezels are so thin, so you don't have to press very hard to actually come in contact with the camera capture button. We weighed our case and it came out at 32 grams, but the listed weight for the case itself is going to be 30 grams. So you might find that it's a little bit heavier than what the listed weight is, but in terms of overall thickness, in terms of overall density, it is pretty similar to the super thin we saw on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, where they just have left out the buttons and you just have kind of like a skin for your iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now let's check out how the MagSafe works. In terms of the MagSafe magnet's strength, we're just going to do a quick test here. As I apply the magnet onto the charger, it's relatively powerful, but not that strong. So 1 out of 10, I would rate this a 6. And that's because either the case itself is so thin, so the magnet itself is also thin, so it can't be that powerful, but it's not going to rival the most powerful magnets inside of our test. And it's going to be similar to even the Apple case, where the Apple Clear Case MagSafe doesn't have the most powerful magnet, but the Mous is going to be similar to that. This is the Casemate D30 case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it's going to be able to withstand a 16-foot drop, and that's because it comes with a dual layer construction that has a reinforced D30 backplate and frame. It's going to be something that feels squishy in the hand, but it's going to be very protective because once you take it out, you'll notice that the overall color and how they made this look in terms of that one-piece design, it does look clean, but they put some reinforcement bumpers along all of the inner layer, while the outer layer is going to be completely smooth and soft to the touch. The TPU size as well as the polycarbonate back allows you to have very good grip with this case, and you can see the density of the MagSafe magnet inside. The Casemate does weigh 48 grams, so it will be on the heavier side, but it doesn't feel that heavy inside your hand, and I think that really contributes to just the overall weight distribution of this case. Taking a closer look at it, you notice that there is a camera cutout for your camera capture button. And in terms of the amount of bend or flex inside the case, it's still going to be relatively rigid, but they have this ring around the corners as well as the bumpers that are going to allow it to have just better drop protection where nothing, unless you really drop it on something tall or directly on the polycarbonate back, it's going to be cushioned by the bumpers here. Now let's put our iPhone 16 Pro Max inside the D30 case so you can see exactly what it looks like. Now it is crystal clear, so you're going to be able to really enjoy the pure color of your phone, especially on the 16s, which have that titanium color. But I wish Casemate had just took off their Casemate logo as well as that D30 off the case so that we can really appreciate the color of the iPhone. Out of a majority of the cases that we are testing out here, you'll notice that the camera bump is more raised on your Casemate Tough D30, so it's going to give you better camera protection, as well as there's additional material on the corners so that you have better drop protection if you drop it on the corner. The buttons are clicky all around, and if you text out the camera controls, they do work well, and that's because how easy it is to slide your finger in and out of that little divot or slip. But remember, the back part is not going to be completely flat. So if you use this extensively, your finger will get tired and you could potentially irritate your skin. And that's just something I found on a lot of these different cases that have just these little holes for you to press the camera controls. If the back part of that polycarbonate is not removed, you could get some irritation, especially if you're using that camera control a lot because you're just rubbing your finger on plastic over and over and over again. But overall, the Casemate is solidly built. It's going to withstand a lot of drop protection. And let's now check out the Magsafe Magnet. Casemate is well known to have very good magnets, not the best in class, but very good. So you can see that I just attached the wireless Magsafe charger directly to it, and the grip is good. It's out of 1 out of 10, I would rate this a 8 out of 10. And you can see that I'm attaching my Magsafe battery directly to the case itself. And yes, this is definitely an 8 out of 10. It's strong enough that it's going to be secure, but not too strong that you're going to have no fear of ever it dropping out. Because some of these cases now, the magnets are so powerful that you really have to snap it on and off the case. This is the Casemate Soap Bubble MagSafe case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max, and this is going to be in line with some of the other designs they have like Waterfall Soap Bubble, Carrot Soap Bubble, Touch of Pearl, as well as Twinkle Disco. So there's just a whole entire collection of designs, but I chose Soap Bubble because of the reflective nature. It does look very good in person, and it makes your phone look different while complementing the titanium. And that's what we're going for. You see that they have cutouts for the buttons. Those cutouts are going to be clicky. They have an open camera control button here. There's not going to be a specialized sapphire crystal button. It's just going to be open. And for me, honestly, the Casemate, these type of cases, they just look so good in person and they're unique. I'm surprised that not a lot of cases have put this kind of reflective coating because it's also going to be more anti-yellow because it's not going to be as clear and as sheen as some of these clear cases get. Placing in your iPhone 16 Pro Max into the Casemate is very straightforward. All you need to do is just take it out of the box and just place it inside. It will snap in right away. It's not going to be too tight. It's actually going to be a perfect fit, which is something that I like about it, where it's not going to be too difficult to take it on or off. But you can really see how it complements that titanium sheen because just having additional kind of like this reflective layer just makes it even look more titanium. And we're going to test out the camera controls. And that's because the camera control cutout is not just going to be kind of divoted or recessed, but also on the back. That polycarbonate back layer has also been cut a little, so there's no plastic on the back that's going to also be rubbing on your finger, which means it's just easier to use that camera control button and you're going to have a lot more control inside. In terms of overall grippiness, I do say that this case is very grippy. It's going to stick to your hand, and that's one of the best things about the Casemate. And they have that polycarbonate back mixing in naturally with the TPU side, so there's not this obvious border, so it does look like one solid piece here. And that is just a beautiful case. Now let's check out the Magsafe magnets. Now let's test the strength of the Casemate Magsafe magnets. So it's going to be a medium strength here. I would say 1 out of 10 is going to be similar to your D30 case at a solid 8 out of 10. It's not going to be the most powerful magnet, but at the same time, I'm not going to feel nervous about attaching this to my Magsafe car mount or a Magsafe battery because it's relatively secure. The buttons are clicky. The case is grippy, and I really do like the case made soap bubble MagSafe or the waterfall soap bubble or the carrot soap bubble, whichever soap bubble design you get. I just feel like these are winners in my book. This is the Torras O-Stand 360-degree spin stand MagSafe case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's going to be coming with a spin stand, so not only is it going to have a stand, but you can rotate that stand 360 degrees for additional functionality. And when you compare it to something like the iPhone Clear case from Apple, you notice that the stand is not only going to be more functional, but it's going to be more protective. It comes with 12-foot drop-proof protection as well as superior raised edges. It does have a clicky sound to all the buttons, and you can see in terms of the density and the thickness of that polycarbonate back that it's going to be a relatively solid case, and it's one of the cases that I do enjoy using specifically because of the O stand. The Torras case does have a slight bluish hue, so it's going to stay clearer longer. But once you put it inside your iPhone 16 Pro Max, you get to really see that it allows you to enjoy your iPhone color, that titanium color, while having a ring that you could use to basically prop up your phone in landscape or in vertical mode wherever you are. And that also gives you some additional functionality because that magnet inside of the O stand is an 18N magnet. So it's going to be stronger than before. I'm not going to say it's the most powerful MagSafe magnet, but in relative terms, 1 out of 10, this is going to be 8 out of 10. And remember, that magnet is inside a stand. It is not like it's just built into the case. Now, if you check the buttons, they're clicky. It's more clicky than we tried on other cases. And if you look at the camera control, this is where Torras really thought about it. So in terms of the camera control, it's easy to roll in and out, and that's because they just made a big dip inside of the case on both sides, including the back. So it seems pretty layered or flat to your iPhone. And because of that, you're going to have a lot more functionality in terms of using your camera control, and it's going to be easy to press. Overall, this case is going to be one of the cases that we do like, and because it gives you solid drop protection along with some new functionality with that 360-degree spin stand, I think this is going to be a winner for a lot of people, especially if you're looking for something a little bit more unique, but wanted something more subtle, but with more functionality at the same time. Testing a MagSafe charger, I wouldn't feel nervous about attaching a MagSafe charger to this case. It's going to be secure. I would rate the level of attraction at about 8 to 10 for the magnet strength because, again, it is built inside the stand itself. And if you try this on the MagSafe ring, this is where you can really see the functionality of that hinge. The hinge has been updated, so it's going to be more secure. But if you have the right angle on your MagSafe, you can even open the hinge itself. And then you can rotate that hinge all around so that you can really test and find the best position for you to hold your phone. And that's another thing about this O-ring. It really does help just you hold your phone, especially if you're using it on the subway or you just want a better position to hold it inside of your hand and not drop your phone at all times. This is the Zagg Crystal Palace Snap case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's one of our favorite cases because actually Zagg has one of the best warranties of the group. They have an anti-yellowing warranty for life. So if your phone experiences yellowing, they will replace it. Now, this is coming with crystal clarity because it has the 3 anti-yellowing technologies to guarantee your case will always stay beautiful and clear. It does come with 13-foot drop protection, and you can see that they have grip pads. And that grip pad is not going to just be a small slither on the case. It actually goes all the way from your volume control to the bottom of the case. So whatever you're holding or whatever position, you will find that your hands will easily find those gripping areas. In terms of overall grippiness on the back as well, I would say this case is a very grippy case. And in terms of the overall color, it's going to be less blue than the other cases while still being very crystal. If we look at the overall firmness, the back is going to be firm, but not too rigid. And in terms of fingerprints, I would not say this case is a fingerprint magnet. Actually, compared to other cases, it does show fingerprints less, which is a big bonus when you combine it with the graphene that's used inside, so it's going to be even more drop resistant. One of the key reasons Zagg offers the limited lifetime warranty is because they already know that a lot of us are just upgrading our phones every 1-2 years, so that even if we have a case and it turns yellow, we're just going to get a new case for our new phone eventually. You can see the overall build quality of this case because it has that seamless design. There's no real break between the polycarbonate back and the TPU side, so it does look seamless. However, the big question is, because it doesn't come with that camera control button, it just comes with a cutout. How comfortable is it to use in the hand? Because in this case, you'll be surprised that I don't love the design for the camera control here. So let's take a closer look now. After inserting our iPhone 16 Pro Max into the Zagg Crystal Palace snap case, let's test out the camera controls. And the camera controls do work. They are relatively easy to use. Just remember, the more you use it on this specific case, because of how they just have it as a groove inside and they didn't make it flat on the back, and you just have a lot of plastic around that small area, your fingers are constantly going to be in contact with that plastic. So when you go up and down and you scroll, it's not going to be as comfortable over the long run. The corners are going to give you solid drop protection along all four sides, and the camera, in terms of the camera lens protection, is going to be medium because it does give you a millimeter of protection, which is pretty standard here, but is not going to give you more than that. Overall, in terms of grip, I would rate the grip 9 out of 10. It's not going to be as grippy as the casemate, but it's going to be awfully close. And in terms of the amount of protection you get, I do think it rivals the Otterbox Symmetry in terms of the feeling of that protection, where you do feel like your phone is very secure inside of this case. Now, let's try it out with the Magsafe battery. The Zagg's weakest feature here is that the Magsafe is just going to be medium, especially at this value. So we're going to rate the Magsafe strength at about 7 out of 10. And in terms of overall weight for your Zagg Crystal Palace case, it comes in weighing 47 grams, which is going to be on the higher end, the same as the Casemate Tough D30, and a little bit lighter than what you get with the Torras O-Stand case. This is the Otterbox Symmetry case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max, and honestly, they did a lot of changes here, so it's not going to be like other years, because especially the sides are not going to be opaque. They made this as crystal clear as possible, and they have a camera cutout here that's going to be more exposed, actually fully exposing your phone on that camera side. Now, if you take a look at the Otterbox, you notice that it does have a lot of familiar characteristics, but unlike other Otterbox cases like the Otterbox Defender, I would not classify this as necessarily the most protective. And I wouldn't say it's going to be even the most comfortable because of how they created that camera control area. So let's take a closer look here. If you try to use it and try to put a lot of fingerprints on it, the Otterbox does withstand the fingerprints very well. And as a owner of a Otterbox Symmetry since the iPhone 8, I can also tell you that in terms of the yellowing, the Otterbox does withstand yellowing unless you leave it in the sun for a very long time. The Otterbox also comes with built-in anchors, so you can attach a lanyard as well as charms to the case itself, and it does weigh 38 grams. We weighed it at 38 and is listed at 38 grams across the board. Comparing your Otterbox Symmetry to the Apple Clear case, we can see that there is a big difference because of just that sapphire crystal button on the Apple Clear case versus the open area on your Otterbox, because that makes a huge difference not only in the overall design and the look of your phone as well as your case, but just how comfortable it is to use the camera controls. Inserting your iPhone 16 Pro Max into the Symmetry case, you can see that the Symmetry case definitely has a more bluish hue than previous years, and it always generally has a tight fit, so you will have to squeeze it inside. So you can see how tight the fit is. I have to really kind of press in, and there's an area where the camera control button is where you feel a little bit weak there because it's not going to have the same rigidity or support that you're used to in an Otterbox. Worst, imagine dropping your phone directly just on that one exposed area. You're going to dent the titanium color. It's going to scratch there, so it's just more prone. In terms of the overall use, if you want to use it for the camera control, because it's open, it actually is very easy to use the camera control, so I see why they made this decision. I just don't like how the plastic can snag on your clothes, and especially if that area gets sharpened over time by wear and tear, it's not going to be comfortable to use. You might not want to keep this case for a long time. So for the first time in a long time, it's hard for me to recommend the Otterbox Symmetry with this redesign, because even though the sides before were more opaque, they were also denser. The case was a little bit heavier, but it had a lot more bounce to it. And even though the camera controls do work well with this kind of setup, I just feel like the reason why you get Otterbox is not because it's going to be the most beautiful case, but actually it's because it's the best, most protective. Because imagine you just drop it on the stair here, you're going to really pay for it. And even if you just lay it flat on the floor, because it's only raised about a millimeter, you're not getting as much protection as you need. And then if you look at the Magsafe magnets, Otterbox has just not improved their quality of their Magsafe magnets in a long time. This feels like the Magsafe magnet they've been using since 2022, where it's still going to be able to attach to a Magsafe charger or a car mount. But as you can see, just dangling from our little MagSafe wireless charger here, it's just not that secure. It's easy for me to yank it off. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious as I dangle this over the water and risk damaging my phone over the long run. So overall, I think Otterbox did themselves a disservice by moving away from their protective case nature and just going for more beauty as well as a better design, because they made a big mistake here, because I don't feel as secure holding this phone, and it's so similar to a lot of the other cases, especially in that sub $50 price class, even the $20 price class, that's hard for me to recommend it over its competition. Which brings us to the final case on our review. This is going to be the Benks Lucent Pro case for your iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it is going to cost you $16 here. So let's compare this to the Otterbox and some of the other cases. It's going to be 1.8 millimeters thick, so it's going to be as thick as you get on the Otterbox. And it comes with something called Mag, which just means that the MagSafe magnet is going to be more secure inside of your phone case, because it's going to be reinforced by multiple layers and ingrained or embedded inside the case itself. The Lucent Pro also is using a TPU side as well as a polycarbonate back, and you can get a closer look at the air cushion technology that they've included along all of the various bumpers, and you can see that cutout they have for the camera control. Now let's put inside our iPhone 16 Pro Max and see what this looks like overall. But before I do that, let me just talk about the fingerprints here. The Benks case is going to be good at resisting fingerprints, but I wouldn't say this is going to be as fingerprint resistant as what you get with the Zagg or the Otterbox as well. A simple hot take against the Apple Clear case, you can see that it will even be as protective as the Apple Clear case, and it has to share a lot of similarities, except the Benks is going to be more secure, it's going to be denser. It just doesn't come with that sapphire crystal camera control button that you get on the Apple case, and not a lot of these Clear cases, especially at this price point, or a lot of cases in general, is coming with those sapphire crystal buttons. Inserting your iPhone 16 Pro Max will let you see three observations. For one, it's not going to be seamless. The polycarbonate back cover is not going to be completely blended in with the TPU sides. They do hide it very well. They mask it, but you can see it slightly on the edges here, as well as if you look at the bumper as well as the corner protection, you notice that there is additional material on the corners so it can withstand corner falls better than if you just dropped it on its own. In terms of overall grip, I would say that the Benks case is very, very grippy. I've been trying to just damage my case, and it's been able to withstand a lot of falls. And that's the secret of the Benks case here. It does give you a lot of value. And even if you test out the MagSafe magnet, this is one of the more powerful MagSafe magnets in our group. I would rate this at a solid 9 out of 10. It is going to be more powerful than what you get with the casemate. It's going to be more powerful you get with the Mous, with the Apples. And at this price, I don't feel nervous. I really don't feel nervous dangling this over the water, because the magnet is so much more powerful than before. So that is going to be on our Benks Lucent Pro case for your iPhone 16 Pro. So ultimately, which one of these cases is going to be the best for you? Well, let's first talk about budget, because the Mous, the casemates, the Zagg, and the Otterbox are all going to cost you about $50 each. The Torras O stand case is going to cost you about $40 when it's not on sale, but I have seen it on sale for less, and the Benks Lucent case just costs about $16. If you're going for the thinnest case, nothing's going to beat the Mous Super Thin. It is the lightest at 32 grams, and it's going to be the thinnest. But if you're going for more functionality as well as protection, I call it a close tie between the Casemate Tough D30 and the Zagg Crystal Palace, giving the bonus feature or the win to the Zagg Crystal Palace, because it's a great case, as well as it comes with that lifetime warranty, so you can get extended use out of your Zagg case in case it yellows. And I'm saddened that the Otterbox SYMMETRY is not going to make any wins here, but I did love how the Torras O stand, in terms of that functional design with that O stand ring, it just makes it so easy to use, and that O stand ring is so small and minimal in the case, it's almost like it's blended in. And that Benks Lucent case, because of the value you get here and how close it is to all of its competitors, you might be able to afford 3 of them for the price of one of the other cases. So all of them are going to be winners. You just have to pick which one is going to be the best for your budget and your lifestyle. And with that, thanks for watching, everybody. This is David with the French Glow. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. And please hit that like, subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time. This is David with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.